I think we got it. We got
There we
it.
go.
Yay.
Hi.
How are
Good. How are
you?
you?
I'm so good. Thank you for joining me on my very first 15 minutes on Friday.
Of course. We'll see how it
um,
goes.
yeah, we'll see how it goes. It's fun or it's scary.
Right?
Well, I want to say hello to everyone and thank you for joining us. Cherie Harrington and I have known each other for about a year and a half. I had met someone who connected Cherie and Cherie runs a referral group where she has brought together a ton of real estate agents from all over the United States, and we work together to make sure that everyone has really good representation. Cherie has spoken regularly with all of the agents in her network, and she has vetted them and make sure that they're true professionals and do a great job. And I'm so happy to be a part of your group, and I love all the value that you bring to all of us. So thank you for that.
Thank you.
Um,
I appreciate it.
Absolutely. A little bit about Cherie. She has a super strong corporate background. Cherie, you worked for Domino's Pizza for a long time as a development director. That's amazing. And you've also been a licensed realtor for 20 years full time for the last 8. Can you tell us a little bit about your market and who you serve and that kind of stuff?
Definitely. So I'm in the Carlsbad, California market, which is North County, San Diego. And my niche is luxury, but I'll help anybody. So I've kind of tried to stay in the luxury realm, which is, it depends on what you consider luxury too, I guess, because our price point in Carlsbad, I looked it up for year to date right now is 1.9. That's our median price point in my zip code. So there's 4 zip codes in Carlsbad. I'm in South Carlsbad. So that's kind of my niche area. But I serve all of San Diego County, which is about an hour radius, and then the south part of Riverside County, because we do have a house in Canyon Lake up by Temecula.
Awesome. Tell me a little bit about what do people love about
Oh my
Carlsbad and
God,
San Diego?
it's amazing. I love Carlsbad. It's the weather here is pretty much perfect year round. I mean, it's winter right now, so we have our winter jackets on and it's 60 degrees, so we're a little bit spoiled. I talk to my parents all the time and they're like, "Oh, it's 11 degrees in New York or whatever." And they don't get it. Why do we have a winter jacket on? But it's beautiful. We hardly get any rain, which is a plus and a minus depending on how you look at it now with the fires. But the weather's mild year round. We live in La Costa, so we're about 4 miles from the beach. The weather's really nice. We don't get a lot of fog and overcast in the summer. The beach is close, accessible, lots of touristy things to do here, free things. It's just a very cool place to live if you have an active lifestyle and want to be outside.
That's awesome. It seems really similar to Florida in that I know in California and in Florida, that active outdoor lifestyle is such a part of.
Yeah.
Uh, I mean, for me, growing up in Florida, it's a part of my being, just being outside. And it seems like California has a lot of that same, except you guys have beautiful mountains and rolling hills and all that fun stuff.
That is the cool thing about this locate being in San Diego is we can get to the mountains, go to Big Bear and go skiing, depending on traffic, within 2 hours. There's lots of lakes around. The ocean is right here. You can get to the desert, you can get to Palm Springs in 2 hours. So very kind of centrally located as far as getting to everything that you could possibly want to do. And we have some great hiking trails here, and it's really beautiful. I love it here.
That's awesome. One of the biggest reasons that Cherie and I connected was she had a client who was looking to move to Northeast Florida, and Cherie didn't have a referral partner in the area, so we connected, and we got him situated pretty quickly. It was great, and what a great guy, and just wonderful to work with. But I know that a lot of people are leaving California right now. What do you think is the biggest pitfall for families that have decided, or couples that have decided to leave California?
It's very expensive here. I mean, it's gotten to the point that it's absolutely ridiculous. And I always felt like it was expensive here, but compared to Los Angeles and San Francisco, it was like this little hidden gem. So during COVID, when everybody could kind of move wherever they wanted to move, we had a huge influx of people from Los Angeles and the San Francisco area. And it was insane. I mean, I had first time home buyers coming down here making offers on a home that's like 1.2 million, and they're like, offer $400,000 more. I want this house. And there's 25 offers on every house, so it really shoved our prices up, which is great if you already own a home, but for first time home buyers, or people that are looking to even to downsize, like for us, I mean, we've got so much equity in our house right now, but in order for us to even downsize, the houses are so expensive, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
So pricing is definitely an issue here. Um, Depending on what end of the spectrum you're on, politics are an issue everywhere, right? Depending on, so I know a lot of people are leaving the state because of the politics. I'd say politics and pricing really. And now, as everything's been compounded by the fires, we've got all these fires raging in Los Angeles, and we've a bunch have started down here in the last, I don't know, 2 days. So we've got one in Bonsall. I haven't checked the Watch Duty app this morning, but it's it's a pretty good sized fire in Bonsall, which is about 30 minutes north of
Wow.
here. And then there's one down by the border in Otay Mesa, and then just like a sprinkling of them all over the place. Like you'll hear one started, but they got it out. And then there was one by Fashion Valley Mall or day before yesterday, right up that hillside in the middle of like, hundreds and thousands of apartment buildings down there.
Wow.
So it's scary, you just don't know, but every state has their issues, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
In Florida, of course, we have hurricanes and we have um, rainstorms, and there's something everywhere.
exactly.
It's just kind of picking your poison.
Right, exactly. What you can deal with
Exactly what you
and what's
think
going to
you're
make you
capable.
happy. I feel like we've lived all over North County, and I've lived all over California with my old corporate job, and this is the place that I've been the happiest. It feels like home. I love everything that Carlsbad has to offer, and we're still close to downtown San Diego and all of that. So it's just a really nice spot for us. So I feel like you said, you have to pick your poison, but you have to be happy in your environment. If you're not happy in your environment, you're just not going to be happy.
Right.
Period. Yeah,
Absolutely. How far is the drive from Carlsbad to San Diego, downtown San Diego? Like if
it's
you
about
wanted to go to
30.
the zoo.
It's about 35
Okay.
minutes. Yeah,
Awesome. It's beautiful.
yeah.
And then I know there's a pretty big situation where people leave California, but then they decide they're not too happy. What happens when people move somewhere else and decide that they don't like it
It's
where they are?
It's really interesting. So I run the Leaving California Facebook group, and I see a lot of that in and out. And, a lot of people leave and they're like, I would never move back. I hate California for whatever reason. But then I do see people that have left the state, and I've had a couple of people that I'm pretty close with, that one left and went to Arizona. She was there a month and she's like, I hate it, ended up staying for a full year and then came back. And then another couple left and went to Florida. They bought a house there and hated it, kept their house and they're renting it out there now, but they came back here and they're renting because it's too expensive now. So you've got to,
So they can't
I don't know.
even afford to buy a house now because they've spent their money.
Yeah, the prices have gone up so much. I mean, the prices they're not coming down. I just pulled last month's information before we hopped on the call, and for this zip code, the median price is 1.9 million, and it's up almost 8% from last year. So it's still, the prices are still going up. There's still a huge demand here. There's still people moving in. Believe it or not, everybody thinks that people are just moving out, and that's definitely not it. I did pull some stats that are kind of interesting.
Yeah.
So during COVID, we had about 700,000 people leave
Uh-huh.
California, but 420,000 came in. And
Wow.
then, I'm sorry, that was last year actually. During COVID, it was 841,000 left. 430,000 came in, and then last year 700,000 left and 420,000 came in. So people are still coming in. They're, they have family here, or their jobs are relocating them here, or they just want to be somewhere warmer. So it's not like there's this giant exodus and nothing's coming in. It's kind of interesting. But yeah, I would tell anybody that's leaving or that wants to leave, and you're not 100% sure and you've never lived in the area that you're moving to, if you can stay there like 30 days, if you can just are able to take that time
Maybe get an
and experience,
Airbnb or
yeah,
something,
and
live the life.
experience it in the worst season for that state, right? So for me, I would think if I was moving to Florida, I would want to go there in the heat of the summer,
Yes,
right?
August
And see
or
what that's
September.
like.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. See what it's like, because everywhere is so much different than here. We don't have rain, we don't have bugs, we don't have humidity. Like those are things that are normal everywhere else. And if you can't stay there 30 days, I would say if you own a home here, if you can keep it and rent it out and just go to the other state and rent for a while,
Try
that
it
would be the
out.
smartest thing to do. Because if you sell your house here and you move somewhere else, you're probably not going to be able to come back unless you're like absolutely loaded and money's no issue. But it's gotten so out of control on the pricing, which is a beautiful thing, right? Because people can really build their wealth. If you're able to
Yes.
get in here, you can build a great amount of wealth through real estate. And I don't see that happening in other states. If you're paying $300,000 for a house somewhere else, maybe you keep it 10 years and it's worth 350. But like here, I mean, our house has more than doubled since 2019. So we have a huge amount of equity. So there's a lot of money to be made in the real estate market here if you can get in.
One more question I have for you, Cherie, before we wrap. You were mentioning first-time home buyers buying at the over $1 million mark. Are there programs in Carlsbad and in San Diego, or these people just have to come up with that 3 to 5% of their cash down? There's no grants or things like that to help first-time
There's
home buyers in the
grants,
area.
but usually not at that price point.
Gotcha.
I did have a couple grants last year that people were able to get into just through a credit union, where they got $50,000, like it was given to
But
them,
not a real
which
nice.
was awesome. Everybody
Yeah.
thought it was a scam, but I was approached by this lender through a credit union. I got two of my clients in. They received the $50,000. They were first time homeowners. They had high incomes. I mean, they were making, I think the lowest, it was actually a high income earner grant, which is kind of odd. But I think it was like 150,000 was your
Uh-huh.
max that you could make as a single person. So they were able to get in. But the people that were buying during COVID were living in San Francisco, in the Bay Area, and their rent was like $8,000 a month. So
Gotcha.
to come down here, and they're all tech people, they work for LinkedIn or Facebook or whatever. So they had 20% down, and their payment was less than the rent up there.
Right. It totally makes sense
Yeah.
when you're making money like that. It's easy for
Yeah.
sure. But first time home buyers getting into something around 500 or 400,000, is that even doable in your area?
You can get a condo, like a one-bedroom condo for like 500. Or you can move to just a little bit out of San Diego. So like the Temecula
Yep.
area, there's a newer area called Winchester. You can get a house for like 600,000 that's 3,600 square feet. You
Awesome.
just have to be able to commute an hour,
Right.
and most people my age, like had to do that when they started, but it seems like the younger generation doesn't want to commute. But you can do it, and then you can build some wealth there and then move back to San Diego. And that's what I always tell my people that move, that I help move up there. Like, let's build some equity, get a couple 100,000 under your belt, and then move back. And it
Exactly.
totally works. You just have to be patient.
That's exactly how it is here, where people want to be either close to downtown or they want to be close to the beach, but you have to kind of start a little farther away and be willing to travel
Exactly.
so that you can build that wealth. And Carlsbad growing at 8% is huge. We're growing at about 6% in this market. So,
Yep.
those are big numbers. If you're
Definitely.
able to stay put for 3 or 4 years, then you're
Yes.
able to really grow some money and be able to put it somewhere where you can grow even faster.
Exactly. Exactly.
Well, Sherry, it's been such a pleasure. 15 minutes goes by really quick.
It does.
Um, thank you so much for joining
Thank
me.
you.
If you are following me and you want to know more about Sherry, please follow Sherry's page, the Harrington Group. And if you're following Sherry and you want to know more about me, I am Jess.Gallison in Northeast Florida. And it was such a pleasure chatting with you. And follow me next week. I have another guest next Friday at 12:30.
Awesome. Thank you. Thanks for being such a great referral partner. I love
Oh,
to have
thank
you
you so
there so I
much.
know that I can trust who I'm sending someone to.
I absolutely love being a part of that. And I love taking care of the clients just as if they were my own.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Bye.
Bye bye.